How's it going? Today, I wanted to make a video covering where and how to get every single legendary in Borderlands 4. I wanted to wait until the Christmas bounty pack release so I could include those weapons as well. So keep in mind this is being recorded on November 25th before the first Invincible boss is released. So we're all on the same page, I'm not going to be ranking any of these items. This is strictly an encyclopedia type video where I'm documenting all of the drop locations in one easy place. Finally, the chapters for this video will be split up by specific boss, so you can skip around to see if a certain boss is worth farming on your character. With that out of the way, let's get straight into the video. Starting off in the Fade fields, the first boss is Splashzone, who drops the Fireworks, a Torgue armor shield, the Jelly, a Ripper grenade, and the Lead Balloon, a Torgue shotgun. The next boss is Voraxis, who can be found in Timid Kyle's Neglected Opening, an Abandoned Auger Mine, which can be accessed after you complete the mission Shadow of the Mountain. This Thresher boss drops the Buoy, a Ripper grenade, the Dark Beast, a Dedulous SMG, and the Potato Thrower 4, a Torgue assault rifle. The next boss is Core Observer, who can be found in the Black Lime Bunker, an Order bunker, which can be opened after you complete the mission One Fell Swoop. This boss drops the Bully, an Order pistol, the Defibrillator, a Jacob's rep kit, and the Divided Focus, a Meteor assault rifle. Next up is Horace, who's the second main story boss, and this guy can drop Aegon's Dream, a Vladof assault rifle, the Lucky Clover, an Order pistol, and the Pacemaker, a Dedulous rep kit. The next boss is Sludgemaw, who can be fought during the side mission all charged up. Sludgemaw can drop the Burt's Bees, a Vladof SMG, the Kickballer, a Malawan shotgun, and the Onion, a Jacob's armor shield. Sidney Pointylegs is the next boss, who can be found in the Prospects, a Ripper drill site. Keep in mind, with every Ripper drill site, there will be a wave of enemies you need to fight before the main boss spawns in. Sidney Pointylegs can drop the Disc Jockey, a Ripper heavy weapon, the Noisy Cricket, an Order pistol, and the Swarm, an Order grenade. Next up are the Foundry Freaks, who are located in the Pitted Stain, a Ripper drill site. These bosses are able to drop the Bloody Lumberjack, a Dedulous assault rifle, the Charamerky, an Order grenade, and the Chuck, a Meteor assault rifle. The next boss is Mimicron, who can be found in the Tipping Point Order bunker, which can be opened after you complete the mission One Fell Swoop. Mimicron can drop the Complex Root, a Malawan sniper, the Looty Mad Lad, a Dedulous SMG, and the UAV, a Meteor grenade. The next boss up is the Oppressor, who's the third story boss you can fight. This boss is able to drop the Asher's Rise, a Malawan sniper, the Blood Analyzer, a Malawan rep kit, and the Streamer, a Torgue heavy weapon. The Backhive is the next boss, who can be found in the Claim, an Abandoned Auger Mine, which can be accessed after you complete the mission Shadow of the Mountain. The Backhive can drop the Cinder Shelly, an Order energy shield, the Stopgap, a Vladof sniper, and the Triple Bypass, an Order rep kit. The next boss is the Bio-Bulkhead, which is the fourth story boss in the Fade fields, and it can drop the Budget Deity, a Meteor pistol, the Sho Kunai, a Jacob's grenade, and the Waterfall, a Vladof grenade. The next boss is the Vault Guardian Inceptus, which is the Fade fields vault boss. Starting with the weapons, this boss can drop the Husky Friend, a Meteor shotgun, and the Ravenfire, a Torgue heavy weapon. It can also drop the Extra Medium, a Malawan energy shield. Moving on to the class mods, this boss can drop the Avatar for Vex, the Elementalist for Amon, the Philanthropo for Rafa, and the Reactor for Harlow. Now for the final boss of the Fade fields, Idolator Sol, who's found in Fortress Indomita, can drop the Golden God, a Ripper shotgun, the Gore Master, another Ripper shotgun, and the Onslaught, of Vladof SMG. For the class mods, he drops the Bio-Robot for Harlow, the Dancer for Rafa, the Furnace for Amon, and the Technomancer for Vex. Now let's move on to all of the items found in Carcadia Burn. Starting with Gen 1, this boss can be found in the side mission Fault Hunting and has the chance to drop the Oscar Mike, a Dedulous assault rifle, and the Recursive, a Malawan grenade. Next up is Pango Bango, who's found in the Tender Cage Ripper drill site, and this boss has a chance to drop the Phantom Flame, a Jacob's pistol, the Prince Harming, a Ripper SMG, and the Stray, a Ripper sniper. The next boss is the Skull Orchid, and it can be found in the Embossed Fault, an Abandoned Auger Mine, which can be accessed after you complete the mission Shadow of the Mountain. The Skull Orchid can drop the Faulty Detonator, a Meteor grenade ordnance, the Oak Aged Cask, a Jacob's armor shield, and the Roach, a Torg pistol. Next up is Fractis, who's found in the Crawlcroft Order Bunker, which can be opened after you complete the mission one fell swoop. This boss can drop the Protean Cell, an Order energy shield, the Chuck, a Tediore assault rifle, and the UAV, a Tediore grenade. The next boss up is Leader Willem, who can be fought during the side mission, the Mole's Gambit. This boss is able to drop the Fire Pot, a Torg grenade, the Rainbow Vomit, a Jacob shotgun, and the Zipper, a Daedalus pistol. Driller Hole is the next boss up, and he is the first story boss you'll fight as you make your way through the Carcadia Burn. This boss can drop the Fuse, a Daedalus grenade, the GMR, an Order assault rifle, and the Katagawa's Revenge, a Malawan sniper. The next boss is Rocken Roller, who can be found in the Trinket Crevasse Abandoned Auger Mine, which can be accessed after you complete the mission Shadow of the Mountain. Rocken Roller can drop the AF-1000, a Ripper rep kit, the San Saba Songbird, a Jacob's pistol, and the TK's Wave, a Jacob shotgun. The Rippa Roadbirds are next up, and these bosses can be found in Saw's Clench, a Ripper drill site. These bosses are able to drop the Spinning Blade, a Jacob's grenade, the Wombo Combo, a Vladof assault rifle, and the Potato Thrower 4, a Torg assault rifle. There are also 2 legendary weapons which can be obtained by tipping Moxxi $1,000 until the tip jar makes a noise. The first is the Sweet Embrace, a Malawan shotgun, and then the second is the Cold Shoulder, a Torg assault rifle. The next boss is the Vault Guardian Radix, which is the Carcadia Burn Vault boss. This boss can drop the Anarchy, a Tediore shotgun, and the Adrenaline Pump, a Vladof rep kit. Moving on to the class mods, this boss can drop the Forge Master for Amon, the Grenazerker for Rafa, the Scientist for Harlow, and the Teen Witch for Vex. Now for the final boss of Carcadia Burn, Callis the Ripper Queen, who's found in the Moon-Called Throne, can drop the Queen's Rest, a Torg pistol, the Pandoran Memento, a Malawan energy shield, as well as the Isgrimador class mod for Rafa, the Illusionist class mod for Vex, the Skeptic for Harlow, and the Viking for Amon. Moving over to Elpis now, the one boss that can be fought here is Moon Maddened Callis, who's able to drop the Gamma Void, a Malawan heavy weapon, and the Oh My God, a Malawan SMG. I was able to get the Skeptic class mod for Harlow, so it seems like she has the same class mod drops as the other version of her, but I'm not 100% sure, so take that with a grain of salt. Now let's move on to all of the items found in the Terminus range. The Meathead Riders can be found at the Old Scrape Ripper drill site, and these bosses have the ability to drop the Hellwalker, a Jacob shotgun, the Lucian's Flank, a Vladof assault rifle, and the Warpaint, a Torg rep kit. Next up is the Skyspanner Kratch, who is the first story boss fought in Terminus range. This boss is able to drop the Hellfire, a Ripper SMG, the Hoarder, a Vladof armor shield, and the Linebacker, a Torg shotgun. The next boss is Shadowpelt, who's found in Whistler's Maw, an abandoned auger mine, which can be accessed after you complete the mission Shadow of the Mountain. This boss can drop the Slippy, a Torg grenade, the Sparky shield, a Ripper energy shield, and the Vamoose, a Ripper sniper. The Callis Harbinger of Annihilating Death, or C.H.A.D, is the next boss up, and the drops from this boss include the Atling Gun, a Vladof heavy weapon, the Hot Slugger, a Jacob shotgun, and the Kaleidosplode, a Malawan shotgun. Next up is Battle Wagon, who's located at the Lowering March Ripper drill site. This boss can drop the Compilation, a Torg armor shield, the Finity XXXL, a Vladof sniper, and the Bugbear, a Torg assault rifle. Bramblesong is the next boss, who is located at Bittervein, an abandoned auger mine, which can be accessed after you complete the mission Shadow of the Mountain. This boss is able to drop the Boomslang, a Jacob sniper, the Convergence, a Ripper shotgun, and the Destructo Disco, a Malawan grenade. The next boss is the Divisioner, who can be found in the Wireworks Order Bunker, which can be opened after you complete the mission one fell swoop. This boss can drop the Principal, a Tediore armor shield, the Sideshow, a Tediore pistol, and the Tinged Inkling, a Vladof heavy weapon. Next up is the Vile Prototype, who's the second story boss fought in Terminus range. This boss is able to drop the Heavyweight, a Vladof armor shield, the King's Gambit, a Jacob's pistol, and the Rangefinder, a Daedalus pistol. The next boss is the Vault Guardian Orgo, which is the Terminus range vault boss. This boss can drop the Bottled Lightning, a Malawan heavy weapon, the Chaoson, a Vladoff SMG, the Watts for Dinner, a Ripper Energy Shield, and for the class mods, this boss can drop the Buster for Rafa, the Driver for Harlow, the Kindred Spirits for Vex, and the Shatterweight for Amon. Now for the final boss of Terminus range, Vile Lictor, who's found in the Umbral Foundry, can drop the Blockbuster, a Vladoff Grenade, the Ruby's Grasp, a Tediore Pistol, and the Super Soldier, a Dedulus Energy Shield. And the class mods this boss can drop are the Blacksmith for Amon, the Generator for Harlow, the Instigator for Rafa, and the Undead Eye for Vex. Now let's move on to the items that can be found in Dominion City. The Bio-Thresher Omega can be found in the Fades district while completing the side mission One Slimy Issue. This boss is able to drop the Truck, a Jacob Sniper, and the Bugbear, a Torg Assault Rifle. Next up is Axmal, who can be found in the Toil of Spoiling Viz, an abandoned auger mine in the Carcadia district. This boss is able to drop the Bod, a Dedulus Shotgun, the Buzzaxe, a Dedulus Grenade, and the Kill Spring, a Tediore Rep Kit. The next boss is Directive-O, who can be found in the Ironwall Resolve Order Bunker in the Terminus district. This bunker can be accessed after you complete the mission One Gassy Issue. Directive-O can drop the Bonnie and Clyde, a Jacob's Assault Rifle, the Rowan's Charge, a Jacob's Assault Rifle, and the Whiskey Foxtrot, a Vladoff Assault Rifle. Vile Ted and the Experiments are up next, and these bosses can be found while completing the Terminus district side mission Below the Surface. These bosses are able to drop the Goalkeeper, an Order Assault Rifle, and the Seventh Sense, a Jacob's Pistol. Moving to the Upper Dominion now, RJ can be found directly across from the Fast Travel Station, and this boss can drop the AC May, a Dedulus Shotgun, the Fisheye, an Order Sniper, and the Guardian Angel, a Dedulus Energy Shield. The Timekeeper is next up, and the first phase of this boss is able to drop the Bortcell Ballista, a Jacob Sniper, the Cemetery, an Order Sniper, and the Timekeeper's new shield, a Tediore Armor Shield. Now for the second phase of the fight, the Vault Guardian Timekeeper can drop the Plasma Coil, a Malawan SMG, and finally the Star Helix, a Dedulus Assault Rifle. Those are all of the base game items that have a dedicated drop source. Now let's take a quick look at all of the world drop only or special exception legendary items. As of now, the Sprezzatura, a Torg heavy weapon, is the only item that doesn't have a dedicated loot source. I also thought this would be a good time to mention that every legendary enhancement does not have a dedicated loot source. The only way to get these is as a random drop, either from bosses or from legendary reward crates from Vile Bounties or world bosses. Next up, the Forsaken Chaos, a Tediore Shotgun, and the Midnight Defiance, a Vladoff Sniper, were available as free Twitch drops. However, now I believe you can only find them as a world drop. Next up is the Firebreak, a Ripper Energy Shield, which can be unlocked by putting in this shift code, which does not expire until December 31st, 2030. There were also 4 legendary items awarded for pre-ordering the game or purchasing the Gilded Glory Pack. They are the First Impression, a legendary Dedulus Assault Rifle, the Matador's Match, a legendary Malawan SMG, the Sidewinder, a legendary Torg heavy weapon, and the Transmitter, a legendary Ripper grenade. Now let's look at the post-launch content. The Horrors of Kairos mini-event introduced the Scully, a legendary Order grenade, and the Murmur, a legendary Tediore assault rifle. These items were both available from October 23rd to November 6th from Rift Boss reward crates. As of now, you can find these items very rarely in vending machines, but I imagine in the future there will be a way to toggle on and off this event for a chance to get these items more frequently. Finally, 7 new legendary items were introduced on November 20th with the release of the first bounty pack, How Rush Save Mercenary Day. The boss at the end of this bounty pack, Minister Screw, who's located in the Ministry of Culture, is able to drop the Rowdy Rider, a Jacob's assault rifle, the Health Razor, a Dedulus rep kit, and the Inscriber, a Tediore pistol. Along with this bounty pack, the first vault card was released, including the Aching Royal, a Ripper SMG, the Rooker, an Order sniper, the Hardpoint, a Torg pistol, and finally the Missilaser, a Dedulus shotgun. As of November 25th, 2025, those are all of the legendary items that have been released so far. I hope this video was helpful, and at some point in the future, most likely when all the content for this game is released, I'll make a follow-up video covering the rest of the legendary items that will eventually be added to the game. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, it really does mean the world to me. And with that said, I just want to say, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. See ya.